So welcome, sir. A very good afternoon to all of you. I, Ayushi Gupta, pursuing MBA from ITS Mohanagar Ghaziabad in HR specialization, extend a very hearty welcome to all of you on in today's corporate talk. I'm very delighted to share with you that for today's session, we have with us Mr. Saurabh Trivedi, sir, as the resource person. Before I begin, I would once again just like to confirm whether sir is here and am I audible to sir?
Yeah, Ayushi, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So let's start. So before I invite Mr. Saurabh Trivedi, sir, I would just like to take a minute to introduce him to all of you. It is my pleasure to introduce sir to all of you today on this forum. So Mr. Saurabh Trivedi is an entrepreneur, intellectual property enthusiast, business consultant, investor, and seasoned trademark attorney. He is currently co-founder and director at Budvik Ventures. Legally advising to startups on various issues relating to intellectual property, Sir has extensive experience in all aspects of intellectual property laws, with special emphasis on filing, prosecution, and enforcement of trademark, copyrights, and designs. He guides young startups and early stage businesses, resources planning, and department goals with overall strategy formation. Sir also provides support and insight into various significant organizational changes. He currently has expertise in entrepreneurship building and consulting to universities, incubation centers, improving brainstorming processes of startups and multidisciplinary team building and leadership, resource planning, IPR expert, strategic partnerships, developing businesses by industry-specific methods. With his experience and more than a decade of his corporate experience and knowledge, he has invested in a couple of companies. Sir is also a member of Asian Patent Atomia Association, that is APAA. And apart from that, he is mentored in various Atal incubation centers like AIC RACE, AIC GRIM, and AIC ATD, Baramati Foundation, which are supported by Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, Government of India. He also supports government initiatives, projects like Entrepreneurship Mindset Classes, EMC. His greatest strength is being adept at blending the art and marketing into driving business outcomes. Sir, it is our pleasure to have you with us today for this session.
Thank you, Ayushi. Thank you, Dr. Surendra, and all ITS alumni, director, and who all organized this wonderful corporate talk. So I'm happy to share the insights of corporate world, where exactly when MBA aspirants is there and they just wanted to start their entrepreneurial journey. So I think Sir has shared a wonderful topic, that how to start your entrepreneurship journey. So this is I think everybody's aspiration, that we can become an entrepreneur like unicorns, Paytm, Oyo, or there were a number of companies where they think they have to start their entrepreneurial journey.
So before we begin, sir, I would just like to request our Director Management, ma'am, Dr. Vidya Sekhri, ma'am, to kindly address the audience, sir. Surendra, sir.
Sure.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation for today's session.
Mic off.
Okay. Saurabh ji, I think it is just because of the connectivity she's unable to join. She's joined, but she's out now. So we can start with your talk, and in midway she will be joining. She has just texted me. right?
No worries, no worries. Absolutely, absolutely fine.
Sure.
So I just start with. I just wanted to confirm the audience is all the MBA graduates, or they just wanted to start their. What kind of audience do we have right now?
We have both kind of audience, the first year of MBA and a few of the specialized student of second year.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
absolutely fine. So perfect. So I'm starting my talk with taking few of examples where because I'm also an MBA guy who is having lots of aspiration that I'm becoming a chairman or MD from big companies. So that is my aspiration when I have completed my MBA. So this is I think all of MBA aspirants wants. So when I just started this entrepreneurship journey, but I just wanted to start from learning from the entrepreneurs, because this is the main thing where I wanted to build my empire or my company. So I just learned it once I completed my MBA. So then there I have done lots of jobs in corporate world like Ceasefire Industries and a couple of more companies. Then I started work with the law firm. MBA pass out, working in the law firm, little difficult. I don't understand about the legal compliances structure, but I just take that as a what you can say probably challenge with me. So I accepted that challenge. Apart from working with the banking sector, I just move on to a legal background company in a law firm. Okay, but what kind of things I learned from this law firm? At a very small law firm I started, and I'm the third person who joined as a business development guy. Okay, so I start doing cold calling to the international clients. Okay, I don't know how to convince international people like a Japanese, like a Chinese. So I don't know, because even I know little bit English at that time and communicate with the Japanese people, so it's quite difficult to communicate with them. Okay, and they all are scientists, inventors. They have invented something big in this what you can say probably in this ecosystem. So they are known as the innovators, inventors, scientists, or R&D guys, or uh, big directors, corporate chairmans, or these kind of people I'm being communicated. So from there onwards I learned a lot of things from this international market. Then in 2016, when this PMO announced this startup India or Make in India program, so I thought like there would be lots of MBA guys who just wanted to become an entrepreneur, and but they didn't understand the basic elements, what exactly the requirements of this entrepreneurial journey. Okay, how we can start this entrepreneurship. Okay, because in this colleges, universities, they get lots of placement offers from the corporate side, like from banking, from big companies. They just invited fresh MBA pass out to join their companies and do some work. Okay, but as an what you call budding entrepreneur, or the person who wish to do something on their own, they want to start something as a startup. Okay, and nowadays startup is booming. Okay, but what kind of elements is required to start their entrepreneurship journey, they are a little bit what you can say probably not aware of. That is why I'm here to give this corporate talk on the topic of how to start entrepreneurship journey. Okay, so first of all, whenever MBA person, or what you can say probably the lower down that a graduate who just wish to become an entrepreneur, have something as an solution. Okay, maybe they have seen some problems nearby in their canteens, nearby in universities, or anywhere they have seen some problems. Okay, on those problems might be they are discussing amongst their colleagues, faculties, or wherever they are seated, they have discussed the solution of those problems, and those solution they thought of to start their own companies, own startup. Okay, the first thing is idea generation. So that idea is going to be generated from the problems which you are going to identify might be facing by some company, some factories, some logistic units, some R&D companies. As an MBA, I'm talking about the guys who just wish to do something on their own, and they have knowledge of subjects like business studies or the accounting sector, or a little bit about the business insights. Okay, so they have to carefully analyze those problems, but problem not as in a smaller problem. They have to look at that problem at a larger scale and then find out their solutions. Okay, might be similar kind of solutions are already existing, but you have to carefully analyze what is exactly what kind of easiness you are going to provide from the existing solution to the existing customer, existing owners. Okay, so once you are going to generate this idea in your mind, or you have to sort out the solution which you want to present to entire ecosystem, then you think of to start your own venture. Might be it's related to the service industry, it's related to product industry, or might be you are going to outsource something. Okay, so this is entirely when you have generated some idea in your mind. What next step when you have generated this idea? What is the next stage? Because everybody thought of that we need some kind of investment, some kind of money, because I do have an idea, but I don't know how to start this company, how to what you could say, probably join big hands with us. So this is little problem. The next step is the idea which you have generated. You have to carefully do the market research, and I think no other person than an MBA knows how to do an market research. And this is the topic, I think, in MBA subject itself. So you have to do this market research, that how your idea is going to work. You have to collect that data. And this is all subjective theory part, which you have already read, okay, somewhere in your books. But now you're going to implement practically in your entrepreneurship journey. Okay, carefully collecting the data, then this data is going to analyze, interpret. Okay, then you have to understand the consumer behavior. Consumer might be it's the product or the services you're going to provide it to B2B industry, you are going to provide it to B2C, but you have to understand the consumer behavior as well. Okay, so this is the first step when you have idea in your mind. Okay, then once you've done this market research, you have to move on and then test your idea, test your concept. Where exactly you can go to test your idea? No other space than your university, your colleagues, your faculties, your neighbors is a good place for doing this kind of testing of your idea, because we need some kind of sample. Okay, we need to ask the questions. Okay, I'm thinking of this solution, are you going to buy it? So this kind of things you have to do amongst your colleagues, amongst your university people, faculties, and then you are going to present. May make some clusters, okay, as per probably the college guys, okay, some kind of age which they have represent, and some kind of genders. So this is exactly the requirement. And then once you make this idea testing, then you have to move on the third step. First is a idea generation. Second is a market research. Third step is testing your idea. You know that how to interview the people. Third step is intellectual property. We are MBA guys. We don't know what exactly this intellectual property means. This is your own idea, which is kept in your mind, okay, on which you are going to start something at your own. This intellectual property is a main element or ingredient of this startup ecosystem. Might be everything is not act as an intellectual property, but yes, you have to carefully check it. There are lots of examples of intellectual property. You know that Reebok, Adidas, Nike, they don't have a physical assets. They have only this intellectual property as a trademark on which they are distributing their franchisees. Only a brand name. That's it. Apart from that, they don't have anything. Apple. You know that Apple is a big giant in this mobile industry. Okay. They don't have any kind of physical asset, but yes, they do have an intellectual property with them. That intellectual property is really important. You have to, you know your idea, you know what kind of ingredients, what kind of things you required to start your own venture. Okay, because it's your idea. You know the solution better. Okay, so you have to find out what kind of core assets do you require to start your entrepreneurship journey. Maybe these kind of compliances. Maybe the solution is depending on some technical or on the technology based. Okay, so you have to carefully do the intellectual property on the same. When we are talking about the faculties, you might be heard some kind of journals are there where they are going to share their research papers. But those research papers, they have done a good efforts, and that research is required by the industry itself. But when faculty submit it in the journal paper at a free of cost, and those industries are going to use their research papers, but they are not going to give them a value. But if those research papers are filed as a patent, then probably they get some value because industry people require that research. Same for your idea. If you have something as an innovation, because you should require those things, then probably you required some kind of I think everybody knows little things like they required HR people, they required finance people, they required MBA, they required bachelors who just do the cold calling. So we know how to start this business. But yes, how to stay in this business, stability, that is the main thing which they has to understand. These 3 points. First, I have carefully said that market research, wonderful, we have done, because we know we are MBA graduates and we know all things. Then the third point, intellectual property, which we had already discussed. If you have a very unique brand name, you can just file a trademark application. If you have a wonderful innovation, wonderful technology, which might be you can share with your technology colleague or a friend or who so wants to join your hand in this startup ecosystem, you just file a patent application on this technology. Or if you have a wonderful website or you think of to start your own application, you can just go ahead and file the copyright application just to secure yourself, because it's your assets. Might be you are not after a certain period of time you think that you are not going to do the business, but these are your intellectual property which is help in your career as well. If you file the patent application, you get a good chance to get the higher scholarships. If you file a copyright application, definitely you have some intellectual, you just wanted to sell it out. Intellectual property is similar like a tangible property. But why I'm saying, because at the very initial stage, you have to identify your core assets, the solution on which you are going to sell in the market. You have to kindly secure or protect your ideas. Once you have done this intellectual property, the next important thing is selection of the co-founders. I know how to start the business. I am having the solution with myself. Okay. Might be somebody I need, because I can't do everything on my own. Okay. I need some people. Okay. Like I need some HR people who just organize the relationship with the vendors or hiring of the people or discussing with the interns or these kind of communication. I required HR. I required my accounting compliances should be clear, because in MCA, I need to submit some kind of papers. I need to file my corporate tax. So these kind of things, I required a team. But how I'm going to select a co-founder? This is the main thing. Whenever we are going to start a business, we need some people who wish to join the hands. And this is the right place when you are studying with the similar kind of people. And you have to carefully seeing that this person is being a good co-founder. He's having some kind of skill sets, which is required in my business. I know how to make a product successful, but I don't know how to market it. Who knows a market? Might be Ayushi or somebody else is knowing marketing better than me. Okay. And I'm just focusing on my product. I know how to communicate with the people. This is my job, but I don't require how to handle this communication or the legal work. I need some people. Who is that people? That people is my co-founder, but having certain kind of complementary skills. If Ayushi, if Saurabh or somebody else know the similar kind of skills, okay, how I'm going to increase my business? I require that people who is having some complementary skills. So this is where you required your co-founder selection. If somebody don't wish to, somebody don't have a passion, willingness to do this similar kind of business, they don't become a valuable asset for your company. Okay, you don't have to share any kind of salaries or shares at this stage, because you are just starting your business venture. So when we are talking about without spending money, there is one thing called as equity. Okay, shares transfers. So whenever I'm going to talk about, if somebody wants to join my hand, I'm going to share as per their skill sets or how much that skill is required in my business. On the basis of that, I'm going to share the percentage of the business. 100% is with me. Okay, but I know that Ayushi is going to do some work. 20% is with Ayushi. That's it. You are becoming a pillar of that company. Then one more, that person is entirely required for accounting compliances. 10% with them. Then by joining these kind of circle and selecting my co-founders, selection of my team on the basis of skill sets, because I'm just wanted to start my business. Okay, somebody is good at doing the PR. So that is required. Somebody is good at making the posters, creative, how to present this. So then it becomes a successful venture. Okay, at the fourth stage, you are going to select your co-founder. Idea is yours. Idea is yours. Market research you have done. Selection of your intellectual property you have done. Then apart from that, testing of your idea you have done that part. Then the fourth is when it talk about the selection of the team members or the co-founders, it's entirely depend on the skill set or the things which is required. Might be some other companies who is doing similar kind of work and they need some people like you, because I know my product carefully, my service carefully, and I'm willing to do it anyhow. And somebody require those kind of skill sets. We are going to join hands at the same level. Once we have done that part, then the fifth stage, when we are going to start the branding. There would be a lots of platforms. Sometimes a student ask me, we don't have money, how to do this kind of digital marketing, or we require some kind of amount to start it with. But I'm saying, there would be a lots of platforms, social media platforms, where you are going to put your videos. Okay, because we just wanted to how many people is going to like our profile pictures, how many people like our video which we are going to make it on Instagram reels or somebody, because these platforms are entirely free for you. Why didn't you showcase your product? Why didn't you showcase your service at that platform? It's possible. If you just wanted to do your venture, you can do it freely. Branding of your product, maybe making some kind of videos, maybe some kind of presentation which you are going to upload on these social media platforms. When we are talking about the social media platform, Facebook, there would be n number of groups having the 40K or 50K or 1 lakh people in a group itself. If you are just posting your services that I'm going to provide this, I do have this kind of solution, might be the serious people look at your product and they are going to reach you. This is where your branding affects. Okay, so these platforms are entirely free and you can use it. Even some the very basic stage, I'm just going to come at a very initial stage when we are going to generate the idea. Sometimes the student asks how to generate this idea, how to make a solution, on which solution we are going to work. This is really a problem. That there are lots of industries nearby your college, nearby your neighbor. You can just go and see what kind of problems they are going to face. Just do a little research and then come back on your university, make a group of people and find out the solution. What is the best solution which we can give this organization. And that solution itself give you a very good value if you are going to file a intellectual property on the same. Then you go back to that company and say that this is the solution. You need this solution, you can buy it from us. But first, you have to carefully analyze those problems. Even a wonderful example, one company is called as a Grey Orange. That company is opened by two college guys, and they go to a logistic company. Grey Orange is a company name. And those two men go to one logistic company, and they seeing the problem facing by them and make a one robot and share it with them. But yeah, first they have filed the intellectual property or the patents on that robot, and then share it with them. They are going to purchase those robots from them, and they have started their own venture. They have a number of good number of patent application, because they know that the solution is entirely protected as an intellectual property, and without intellectual property, they are not secured enough. So I'm saying once you've done that part, you have done your branding. Okay, but before branding, you should carefully design your logo or the word name which you just wanted to share with the community itself. Once you have done that branding part, the next important thing which you required, these are free of cost things. Okay, I'm talking about the market research, testing of your idea, selection of your co-founder. These are free of cost. Only the intellectual property required little amount. When you file a patent application, government fee is 1,600 rupees. When you file a trademark application, it costs you only 4,500 rupees, which is not a bigger amount. Okay, but this secures you. Then you are going to move on the next important thing, which is known as a workspace. Everybody wants that workspace, some office, some place where they are going to sit and discuss with the people. Nowadays, there are good number of incubation center across India. All universities do have their own incubation centers, where these group of people or whosoever wish to start their startup, they just take some space in this incubation center. Why I'm saying that you can sit in the incubation instead of taking some co-working space? Because in incubation space, there are lots of similar kind of ideas is going to build. Okay, so you get some fair idea who all are doing this similar concept, or who else do something else, and we can join hands or not. So this is the right place where you can join the incubation center. And incubation center, you little bit learnings would be there just to enter into the corporate world. Once you join this incubation center, you learn a lot of things and you get freebies from them. Workspace is the one thing, Wi-Fi, lectures, corporate talks, mentors, you will get everything at the single place. And not spending so much amount. Once you find out your incubation space, the next thing which you require is a mentor, guru. And guru is really required. You are studying in the university, college, your faculty is your guru. And they know, they do have a lots of experience. They are telling you what exactly right or wrong. That guru might be your parents, might be your neighbor, might be a faculty, might be your corporate people. So that mentor is really required when you are going to present your business plan. This mentor is going to advise you, giving you the corporate insights, where exactly you should go or where you shouldn't go. Mentor advising you, mentor. Why you require mentor? Because you need to leverage their network as well. If you facing some problems, you have to go to mentor. Might be you required a mentor from faculty or a university because your solution is related to that faculty or from that domain itself. So you can make them as a mentor in your startup. And you should share some kind of value as well. Maybe a 2% or 3% of your company's stakes, you can share it with your mentor. Because a mentor is giving you all the insights and helping you to reach a certain position or to increase your valuation of your company.
Yes, sir.
Once you get that mentor, then you should move on to prepare your business plan, because till now you're just going to prepare your homework before entering into this corporate world. Till now you haven't done anything, you have not sold any product. Okay, you are creating an impact where somebody knows your idea, somebody knows your branding, somebody knows your brand name as well. Now once you, I think there is some mic. Okay, perfect. So then once you identified mentors, then you should go ahead and prepare a blueprint. Okay, you need something on the paper, because if you don't put the things, the facts and figures on the paper, you haven't follow them. Okay, if you just make it on your mobile, might be this is going to skip from your mind, but you have to put on the paper. Then put that paper in front of you every time, might be opening your laptop, and then think of what exactly the things is required to make a successful incorporation, maybe a successful venture. Okay, because you are going to complete your checklist. Market research, yes, done carefully. Branding, perfect. Mentor, perfect. Incubation space, perfect. Intellectual property, yes, we have secured. Now we can move on to prepare our business plan. Why I'm taking this on the 8th step? Because I think that is entirely required. Your co-founders' skill set, their responsibilities, and mentors network, these all things are required in your business plan. That who is handling which department or which is a KPIs. Then you should move on to the next step. Once you are going to create a business plan of your concept on the paper and share it with your investors or whosoever is going to put money in your venture. The next step, once you have done this business plan, verified or approved by mentor, you are going to incorporate your company. I think there are lots of steps which I have told you already before incorporation. Now you are ready, because you have done, you understand that these are the basic ingredients which is required. Not only just to put some papers and open a company. It's not a very difficult task. Open a company, open a LLP, open a proprietorship. It's not a very difficult task. Difficult task is to organize those steps. What you could say, probably execute your idea. Okay, this is entirely required. And this is not a one-day work. Maybe it requires 3 months, maybe it requires 6 months, maybe it's 1 year. Okay, because you are just starting. Even if I'm talking about a very big unicorn, Paytm, you know that there would be a lots of efforts before that period when demonetization has happened. Before that period, they are struggling in the market. But one opportunity, one crisis, they become an unicorn. There are similar kind of ideas. Even if I'm talking about this COVID scenario, there would be a lots of opportunities coming to an entrepreneur, coming to an MBA guy. Manufacturing of sanitization, masks, these are not been there before this COVID. But once it's happened, yes, there would be a lots of platforms are available. Even video conferencing platform, you know that AirMeet is going to open and they get a good funding. There would be existing solutions in the market, Zoom, Skype, but AirMeet got funding. So we have to identify the opportunities in this entire crisis. We have to see that. Then I already told you there would be MSMEs, startups, everything would be there. But once I feel in the same way, when this COVID hits in March 2020, the COVID hits and curfew has been there, it's quite difficult stage for everybody. But as an entrepreneur, I see there would be lots of opportunities. The people who wish to start something and they are facing problem to reach to that person who is really important for their business venture. It's quite difficult before this COVID. But yes, if they just wanted to ask, they all are available on the online platforms. There would be a lots of meeting sessions, webinars has been happened or taken by a big corporate. Okay, so that is the stage where you think that you can ask your questions on that platform itself. You get some insights. You're not getting time from that people if you're just fixing your meeting before this COVID. But in this COVID, this is very easy for a people just to reach, just to communicate. So the next step, I come back to these steps where how we can start this, and then the next step is once you incorporate it, you are going to present this idea to the investor, or if you wish to start or launch your concept, you are ready and you can start your business. There would be some key highlights. Once we started our concept or a startup or a company, we think of to get some investment from an investor, might be angel investor, might be a VC firms, but why somebody put money on your concept? You have to clearly figure out in your business plan that this is my USP, this is my property, which nobody is going to replicate. Or if somebody is going to replicate, my business is not going to hamper. I'm talking in terms of as an investor, when I'm going to put money in any startup, I'm seeing those kind of things. The passion, because sometimes one founder is good enough to perform or to grow their venture, but another founder is not willing to do the same. So I have to check the backgrounds, co-founder's background, the business plan, the mentor who is advising them, what kind of a space do they have, what kind of knowledge or skill sets, what kind of responsibilities they are going to fulfill, or whosoever is as a team member, what are their responsibilities or KPIs. This is really important. And this is as a general, as from the investor's point of view. But yes, some investors looking some kind of revenue tractions, some kind of what you can say, probably the data or the audience. If you have some kind of app, then probably they need some members, how many people subscribed your app. So this is some add-ons if somebody is willing to put a money in this startup. As an investor, when I'm going to put money in some mutual funds, I definitely see some kind of ROI. So similar thing, I'm looking in startup or the person who is willing to become an entrepreneur. It's not a journey of a 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Might be it will take more than 5 years. But we have to carefully fulfill or do our homework before reaching to an investor. Okay, this is the need of an hour whenever I'm going to give a talk. There would be a number of ideas are already being in the market, but who the people, if they have some USPs in their product, in their service line, or the big mentors associated with them, this gives some credibility, and we are happy to put some money in that. I started Bodhik Venture. If I'm talking about my company, Bodhik Venture started as a consultancy firm. We become a law firm because we are advocates. Then we become an investment firm because we have invested in a couple of companies with as a syndicate fund, eBike Go, Mera Cashier. These are some portfolio companies. But yes, this required a lot of efforts, because before 2016 I'm going to learn it from corporate world. I'm learning it from existing companies, what kind of solution they required, what kind of things I am going to put in the international market as well. Whenever we are talking about identifying your audience, हम मैं typically बात करता हूँ जब भी हम एक audience की बात करना चाहते हैं ना कि ये मेरा प्रोडक्ट कौन खरीदेगा, आप खुद उस ऑडियंस वो ऑडियंस बन जाओ एंड समझो कि मैं क्यों खरीदूंगा। आप अपने आप को दो तरफ रख के देखो, एक तरफ व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू सेल सम प्रोडक्ट एंड व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू परचेज सम प्रोडक्ट।
Yes, sir.
Why you are different from the existing solution. Sometimes you see that सर्विस सब लोग सर्विसेज देते हैं, बट जो बंदा बहुत अच्छे से कम्युनिकेट कर लेता है, प्रेजेंट कर लेता है इवन एट अ हायर प्राइस, उसकी सर्विस लोग परचेज करने लग जाते हैं। सो अपने यूएसपी के इंग्रेडिएंट्स को ज्यादा बढ़ाना है, इंस्टेड ऑफ कि मेरे पास तो मैं कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स भी भर देता हूं, मैं आपकी आईटीआर भी फाइल करता हूं, मैं आपके जीएसटी रिटर्न्स भी फाइल कर लेता हूं। नो, इट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड। इट्स रिक्वायर्ड अ कम्युनिकेट प्रेजेंटेशन और द थिंग्स व्हिच यू वांट टू कन्वे टू द राइट पीपल। देन आपको समझ आएगा कि हाँ, वो लोग ही मेरी सर्विस परचेज करेंगे। आपको क्या लगता है 5 रुपए में भी एक प्रोडक्ट बिक रहा होगा और वो प्रोडक्ट 50 रुपए में बिक रहा होगा, क्यों बिक रहा है वो प्रोडक्ट? They have certain credibility, branding even. आप जाके आप मॉल्स में परचेज करते हो, क्यों परचेज करते हो? क्योंकि वो ब्रांड इतना बड़ा बन चुका होता है, आपको लगता है कि ये ब्रांड अगर मैं पहनूंगा तो मेरी वैल्यू 50 रुपए वाली नजर आएगी। एज एन एमबीए गाय हमारे को ये ब्रांडिंग और ये इतने अच्छे से पता है ना कि मार्केटिंग होती कैसे। आप एडवर्टाइजिंग को देखो, एडवर्टाइजिंग देखने से आपको ये पता लगेगा क्यों लोग एडवर्टाइज करते हैं। सबको पता है यार डेटॉल बहुत अच्छा है, सबको पता है, but still they are giving their ads on television because they don't want to lose the consumer जो खाली टीवी देख के परचेज करता है। मेरे माइंड में वो ब्रांड बसा हुआ है, बट उन लोगों के माइंड में जो अभी नए आ रहे हैं, जिनको नहीं पता कि हमारे घर में यही यूज होता है, वो टीवी में देख के एड से खरीद लेते हैं। दैट इज वाई आई एम सेइंग, जब हम ब्रांडिंग की बात करते हैं, इवन रेमंड है, विमल है, बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स है क्लोथिंग इंडस्ट्री में जिनको जरूरत पड़ रही है कि उनको डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज लानी पड़ रही है अपनी ब्रांडिंग को प्रमोट करने के लिए। इससे उनकी बल्कि कॉस्ट ज्यादा हो रही है, फिर भी स्टिल वो कर रहे हैं। सो एज एन एमबीए इफ वी जस्ट वांटेड टू स्टार्ट समथिंग एज एन स्टार्टअप, और यही स्टार्टअप आगे जाके बड़ा बन पाएगा because we do have a different solution from existing ones, but how different you execute them, it's totally your choice. मैं ये नहीं कहता हर कोई एंटरप्रेन्योर बन जाएगा, might be some become as an supporting entrepreneurs. मैं किसी कंपनी को सपोर्ट 20% कर सकता हूँ, किसी कंपनी को सपोर्ट 10% कर सकता हूँ on the basis of my skills. If I do have start my own company, might be it's squeezing my skill sets. I'm not able to give all of my efforts to everybody. तब मैं सिर्फ 5 लोगों के साथ काम कर रहा हूँ। बट अगर मैं एज एन फ्रीलांसर मुझे लगता है कि मैं 10 कंपनीज के साथ काम कर सकता हूँ, आई एम रेडी टू टेक सम शेयर्स फ्रॉम दोस कंपनीज एंड सपोर्टिंग एज एन 100%. सो हर कोई एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने की सोचना नॉट अ बिग, कोई बुरी बात नहीं है एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना, बट यस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ आर स्किल सेट, मेरे पास कितनी एलिजिबिलिटी है या मैं कितना कर सकता हूँ और किसके साथ ज्वाइन करना है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। सो आई थिंक आई एम रेडी टू टेक सम क्वेश्चंस, अगर हम क्वेश्चन ले लें। और
Saurabh ji, thank you so very much. I mean, this was a wonderful one. And actually, I was also looking forward to have question session because these students must be starving for their lunches.
Absolutely.
But yes, it's very true. Turning your entrepreneurial dream into reality is the biggest driving force at the initial stage.
True.
And understanding the reasons behind the inception of any idea is the first step, and believing you can do it is the next, right? And very true said, like there are a lot of gaps which you need to ask as a question for yourselves, like what market gaps am I fulfilling? Is my product is solving a problem or not? Will this idea be a game changer or may not be? What resources do I need to bring into the idea of life? What is my special sauce that will stand me out? So if I see the whole talk, it was wonderful. And let's see. Now the new entrepreneurs or new managers are going to throw a lot of questions over you. Thank you so much. It was
Sir,
very wonderful.
I just wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah.
There would be no end of jobs. Jobs कभी
Yes.
नहीं बंद होंगी. And believe करो, इस कोविड के इम्पैक्ट में भी मैं आपको गारंटी इस बात की देता हूं कि there would be n number of jobs available थी. हम लोगों ने कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड ने क्या करना शुरू किया था कि हम लोग ना उन कहते ना जिनको हम कम कॉस्ट पे हायर कर सकते थे, हम उन्हें हायर करने लग गए थे. बट जॉब्स की कमी कभी नहीं होगी. बैंक्स रिक्वायर्ड पीपल, इंश्योरेंस इंडस्ट्री रिक्वायर्ड पीपल, every industry requires some kind of people in their company itself. So वो कभी कम नहीं होगा. बट हाँ, एंटरप्रेन्योर को अपने आप को एंटरप्रेन्योर प्रूव करना, एज एन यूनिकॉर्न प्रूव करना, देन डेफिनेटली इट रिक्वायर्ड लॉट्स ऑफ एफर्ट्स. और ये एफर्ट्स ये भी हो सकते हैं कि किसी टाइम हम कैश क्रंच फील कर रहे हो. बट ये एंटरप्रेन्योर का है जहां पर रिस्क लेना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से.
सही बात है. We know
Oh,
that.
thank you so
Yeah,
much,
please,
sir.
Ayushi.
Yeah. So, sir, very rightly said, sir, there are going to be roadblocks due to the ongoing pandemic, and situation has been really tough. But, sir, being positive, being resilient, being adaptable, being able to grab the opportunity, so these things are always going to work. And so some of the points that you mentioned, like a generation of idea, doing marketing research, identifying your core assets, that includes your IP, then selection of co-founders, which includes relationship management, branding, getting the right guidance from the mentors, building the business plan. So all these things are going to help us. Thank you so much, sir, for such an interesting deliberation. So if you permit now, I would just like to take some questions.
Absolutely, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, sure, sir. So, sir, there is one question from Prakshi Garg. Sir, she says, would it work if there is a website of customized products with best quality, but the payment option is prepaid only? Would it create sales in India for prepaid orders? This is her question, sir. So what's your take on that? We would like to hear from you.
Actually, whenever we talk about some kind of website which can be deliver a customized product, there would be a good number of websites available already. If I'm talking about the local area, there would be n number of applications who's just going to wish us to start their e-commerce platform, maybe a single product, as in what is probably the grocery or some kind of clothing they just wish to start. Okay, once you are talking about the prepaid or the postpaid, it doesn't matter for a client. It matters only when they are going to choose your services at a right cost. If you are giving them offers that if you are going to purchase or prepaid your order, you are getting 100 rupees off, definitely they are going to pay. Okay, if you are just going to say the postpaid is similar to the prepaid, then definitely they just want to take some gap and pay as in postpaid. Okay, so something after the purchase of that product. So this is really important to understand in terms of consumer behavior or your product which you are going to put on a sale on the website. Okay, there would be a good number of application developers which I know personally who just wishing to start the e-commerce platform, but they just select the one single product from the entire 100 products range which is available on Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, or ShopClues, but they just wanted to pick one single product and they just wish to start their e-commerce website. It's quite difficult to engage because nowadays, you know that all of us is like putting our money or selecting the product or the service from a renowned or credible workplace. Okay, if somebody like a big giant as an Amazon, Flipkart, we rely on them. If you are just going to start your e-commerce platform, it's little bit what you can probably more efforts are required from your end. You have to put all your marketing, all your cost on the marketing. Okay, and might be if they understand, those big giants are understand that you generate some good revenue to selling this product, they are going to decrease their prices because they have that purchasing power, they have that cost with them. So you have to carefully understand what kind of business you are going to do. It's not about creating an e-commerce platform, but it's already existing solution. What else you need to do? If you just wanted to take it as a prepaid, there would be a number of platforms. What difference you are going to create? So Prakshi, once you are going to start your business, you have to think carefully. Might be you are going to sell some kind of beauty product, something, but that product is not available on these platforms. Okay, so this is my take or reply on this query.
Yes, thank you, sir. I am sure this must have cleared her doubt. So there is one more question from Shraddha Divedi. Her question is, sir, how do your reviews distinguish between employee contributions and luck?
Oh, it's entirely whenever we are talking about the employee contribution or the luck of your startup. When you have started, they would be what you say probably 90%. I'm talking about the employees' contribution. 10% is entirely your luck. Okay, 90% because if you have that willingness to do something, okay, you can do anyhow. Okay, if you're just relying on your luck part, that this might be happen, so it's quite difficult. So that's something which I am taking my example as well. When I started this Bodhic Ventures, okay, I thought of that I'm going to acquire the entire international market, but it's quite difficult because I need more hands to do that part. Because in European region, in US region, or in Japan, we require lots of people just to communicate. Okay, I can't do alone with my own. Okay, if I'm talking about my luck, that I am going to start this thing, and this thing is going to take a boom within 1 week or within 2 weeks, it's not going to be happen. But I need to follow the deadlines, timelines, and I have to put all of my efforts to do that part. Okay, and the rest thing is entirely your destiny or your luck, if you can achieve that part or not. Even a similar kind of example, if I'm taking as an Paytm, 7 years or 8 years of a long hustle or long, but because probably that when they are going to create that Paytm ecosystem. But yes, once this demonetization happen on a single crisis or single opportunity, they become a unicorn. It is a luck of that company as well. But 90% they have done their employees contribution, the efforts of Vijay Shekhar Sharma, who is going to every restaurant and asked to use this payment gateway, but nobody is going to give a positive response. But the efforts is being continued till the last this demonetization happened. So this is my take on this luck